Everyone, welcome to this quarter's work launch event. Really excited you're here. We've got a big group coming today, and this should be our biggest one yet. It's exciting to see every single one of these get bigger and bigger each quarter, and we try to do this just to keep you up to speed with everything that's changed. Usually we have a number of new folks for these sessions and a number of existing customers and some people we've spoken to before and gotten to know. But we're so glad you're here, and thank you for taking the time. Today, we have a number of exciting new features included in this release that I'll talk through today. And we'll likely have some time for questions at the end. I'm going to go through a quick little presentation of our features that we've added this quarter, which really allow you to use Workorder Workpack through end-to-end through the takeoff process, so you can get your quantities out in the way that you want them to be able to estimate the job. That's really what this quarter was all about. Filtered exports, summaries, improved usability around the manual takeoff. And so we'll go through that today. We've also done a lot with tables, and we'll talk about that as well. I'll also go through a quick little refresher for anyone new who hasn't seen our product before, seen our demo. We'll do that towards the end, right before questions. So you'll get a sense there if you are new to our product. Obviously, you'll see here we've switched the name to Workpack. Reason for this is around just more collaboration, sort of a bigger vision for everybody working from the same documents and the same data, whereas with Workorder, sort of smaller task-oriented, Workpack enables us to focus on the collaborative aspects of takeoff. Always AI first, but giving you that AI co-pilot to enable you to get your work done faster while maintaining accuracy. So again, thank you for everyone who has joined us. So here we're inside our product. We're inside Workpack right now. You can also use Workpack as a presentation tool, and I'll just quickly go through some of the things we're going to talk about today. Our main focus for this quarter, again, was around improving the export, improving summaries, making it really usable end to end. So up until this quarter, Workpack has been a really cool, almost a cool demo, cool toy, something like that. Now you can really use the product end to end. It's and we have people using the product every single day now and loving it, which is the most exciting thing. We've seen usage increase over 300% since June of this year, and we're continuing to see that increase basically every day. We have some people using the product for very, very large projects right now, and having a lot of success, able to save a great deal of time. And that was what this quarter was all about. So we'll talk through some of these here today. The table detection has gotten quite a lot better. This is something that really differentiates Workpack from other products in the market. This, as well as the label detection that we have. You can process tables in multiple different ways now. If there is a text layer, you can leverage that. Quite often the architects use that text layer in order to when they create the tables, and that there's text present in the PDF. If it's not there, you can process it by image, and we extract the table information that way. And then there's a fragmented image option as well. We'll go through each of these a little bit. And then you can also edit the table results and then push those back in. So once you get a table detected, the setup for that is just to draw a box around the table, and you can have all of those, all the data inside the table able to match up with other objects in the drawing. But now you can also edit the results and push that back into any objects that have been matched up with it. Those table properties have also been added to the export results in a better way. So you can see all of the tables there in your export. For summaries, you can now inside the viewer see the summaries of, and I'll just actually show this quickly now so you have a sense. Inside here, you can filter on whatever you want to see in the view, and then you can get totals, linear foot, square foot of your wall types right here in the view. You just click on the document name and then document in the properties in order to get to this. So you can get the summaries for groups, classes, meaning walls, doors, windows, rooms, areas, linear measurements, counts, whatever it is, broken out by section or by document. So again, we just pulled this up, but you can see it for each of these groups. You can get your totals right there in the view. So if you're popping these into your estimating software manually, you can just see them right there in the view and enter those into your estimating software. Exports have gotten a whole lot better, which is exciting because one of the big things up until now was, well, how do I actually use my data? So you can now filter these exports. You can select or unselect whichever types of objects you actually want to export, so that you don't see too much data at once. You can also export directly to Excel and get all of the data for your project. But sometimes if you're just doing a takeoff on one given scope, you want to have a specific class of objects or those groups broken out. And then you might want those tables as well. And then once you export the data, it becomes very easy to create pivot tables with the results, and I'll walk through that here in a minute. The UI's gotten a whole lot better, and this creates seamless transitions from creating groups right into manual takeoff. So again, we take the approach of this being an AI co-pilot. It's not an autopilot, and so you can't just click one button and everything happens for you. You do 5% of the work on the front end, doing the setup or providing the prompt, telling your co-pilot, hey, co-pilot, pick this up for me. And then it does about 80% of the work. So it gives you a good rough draft and detects a whole lot. And then from that good rough draft, you do 15% of the work on the back end, editing, adjusting, deleting, creating. And so we've tried to make that last 15% really easy for you to, or if you want to do manual takeoff, maybe it's an early stage design, there's not a whole lot to detect. We've tried to make that very seamless for you to quickly create groups, create takeoff items, get in and out of add mode very, very quickly. So now you can just use spacebar to add objects and go in and out of adding mode for any given group. That's made people quite happy. So I will jump into a couple of specific deep dives here. If you have questions along the way, go ahead and put them in the chat, and we will take them at the end. So first, tables. The setup for this is just drawing a box around any table within the document, but then you get all the properties from that table. And what we've added here, this has been around for a while, but we've added this ability to edit the table. So you can click on any cell within the table or the outline of it, and then click table matching. And this opens up basically a web-based Excel. And you can modify the column that you want to match on, or edit any of the cells within here. So if in the rare case something gets detected wrong, or in the somewhat more frequent but also maybe somewhat rare case, the architect has a change to something in the table, maybe they tell you that the lobby base is actually changed to B4. You can just enter that, and this will pull over to the A100 lobby area and perimeter in the view, as well as update the table. So we can just change that from B1 to B4. We can click update. That updates here in the table, and then we'll also again update in the object as well. So if we click on the lobby, it says B4 now, and we can go to the lobby here in the view, and we can see for this lobby item, it's base B4. All of these objects are AI generated. This is pre-making any edits. So if we were going to go into this specifically, we'd take, okay, well, this lobby, maybe we want to cut it right here. We take it, we cut it, or split it at this location, and then we can change the group for this one to A100. And now we've got the area and perimeter for this lobby area associated with all the properties in that table. And again, since we changed the table, it comes over as B4. So this is quite nice, because then if you have a door schedule or something, you can populate all the properties at once. You kind of detect a table, and then if you have additional properties that you think maybe it's a 60% design or something earlier stage, you don't have a completed table, you can fill that out in the table matching tool, and then it'll populate everything inside here, so that you'll get a nice export with a whole lot of data. Hopefully that makes sense. That's maybe a slightly more detail, if you will. So here is the export. So to get here, we just click export report tool, and that will open you up inside our report tool here. Again, we have all of these different groups broken out down here. So sometimes it's a little bit more data than you might want or need. So now you can flexibly select what you want to view. So if you just want to view a couple of things, maybe a couple of these groups to have these broken out, we can just select or unselect. Maybe we get our tables and we click save, and then we can export from here right into Excel. What we get in Excel is the data looking like this. This is the export. What's cool from our data, since we have a lot richer data than you might typically get from someone actually doing the takeoff manually, because we have it matched to the finish schedule or the door schedule, you get additional properties that you can filter and sort. So we have the floor finish, the base, the wall finishes, the ceiling finish associated with these these areas and parameters, which allows us to just click insert. And this is as far as my pivot table experience goes, but we just click insert, pivot table, okay. And then we can filter and sort by any of these properties. So we might say, okay, I want to look at my floor finish and my areas. And so now I've got my areas broken out by these different floor finish types. We have to make sure that we classify everything before exporting. This is just raw data, but you can get pretty far with this. If you want to see the the base type, again, this is from the same takeoff item. So we only do the takeoff once and we get ceiling, floors, wall, base, all from that same measurement here in the view. So we've got one measurement and we get all of the properties from this export. Again, we can just filter and sort from the output by any of those. Hopefully that was clear. Okay, so we went through summaries very quickly, but I'll show it again. This is a completed takeoff, and so you can get a sense of what you can do once you finished all of the work. Again, from here you've got the summary for whatever is filtered on in the view. So from this little equalizer, we can filter and sort anything in the view. We can also filter by tags, but from here we just filter whatever we want to have on, and we can view the totals broken out by type, whatever the groups are that are created. So in this case we have different door types. In some cases you'll have individual doors all broken out, matched to the door schedule, which makes it easy to filter and sort in the export. If you have door types like this, then you can see your totals right here in the view for all of the sections that are broken out. If you just want to look at an individual level at a time, you can just click on section, and that'll take you to the section that you're currently viewing. Okay, we talked through the export a little bit. Again, from here, there are two ways to do the export. Once you've completed your takeoff, you can just click export here and click directly into Excel, or you can go into the report tool, which takes you here, and then you can filter or select the tabs that you want to include in your export. But you can also just export all of the data directly right into Excel, and that gives you an Excel file with everything. So, okay, one other cool thing. This isn't, I'm not Steve Jobs, but just one more thing. We can click here and press spacebar to start our manual takeoff. We can also, right from here, click to add a wall group. We can name this test group or whatever we want. And then from here, we can just click spacebar and go right into takeoff mode. So in and out very, very quickly. If we want to add an area measurement, we can just we can do that from this add button. So if we want to add anything, we have this generic add button, but also we can just filter on whatever we want to focus on. So let's say we're just doing any kind of area measurement. Let's say we can just turn the area measurements on, and that enables that class. We can press plus, and then we can do an area test. We can press spacebar, and then we can create our area measurements just like that. If we want to create a corner to corner area measurement, we can do it just like that. but that enables us to go very, very quickly, right through. Again, we just click plus at the class level, and then spacebar takes us in and out of adding mode, and we can just add whatever we want to. Okay, last thing, we'll just go through a quick setup so that if anyone is new to this or just needs a quick refresher, you can get a sense. We've changed the navigation here a little bit. So if you just click this drop down, you can get to all the different navigation types. And we can use all that for navigation purposes. What we're doing in the setup is, again, it's AI Copilot, it's not autopilot. We're defining the sections or the areas that we want to detect objects inside of. So we're drawing boxes around the floor plans. We're defining any labels that we want to detect. If it's an early stage design and we don't have any labels, that's no problem. But if we have them, we can detect them. You just hold control, click on the label, it detects everything automatically. And then for tables, we just define a table template, draw a box around the whole thing. Okay, and so now with that, I'll have my door schedule, my doors, and my wall labels all broken out once I process this. Okay, so that's the setup. We just go through quickly, set up any labels we want, any areas we want to detect objects inside of, and get that broken out that way. Okay, we'll move into questions. I see one question from Tony at A&P. I don't know if you guys can see all of this, but if you have any questions, you can just put them in the chat or in the Q&A section there at the bottom of Zoom. Tony asks, pivot tables are a great way to summarize data. However, if the data changes, you would have to go through the whole export process. Is it possible or envisioned to have more of a live pivot table in the app or a live link to the data? So Tony, great question. Awesome question. You have a live link to the data inside of here. So this is all of the live data, and then you can update that as you want to. And then from here, you would export that to whatever you want. And then you can also update the table inside of the app here. So you can go into any table you have and update, like if you just have one small change, you can update this table and then push that out to whatever you want. So you don't have to redo the takeoff. You will have to redo the export, but probably only once, if that makes sense. Okay. Do we have any other questions? Tony, I guess I could have allowed you to answer that live. Or Tony, was that pretty clear? If you have audio, you can chime in. If you don't, then we go. Did that make sense, Tony, or was there any additional question there?
Yeah, that made sense. I know within Excel there's a way to link out to other websites for live links of data. That way you wouldn't have to redo the pivot table every time, but I'm just not sure how that would actually work with the app.
Yeah, there are live links, and something we have looked at a little bit. We want to make sure that it doesn't require a bunch of there just end up being a few extra complications with that. There are ways to do it, and it is something we look at. So it's a good thing to raise, and something we'll, for sure consider as we go.
Is that something that you
Thanks.
want?
Sure, Tony, and thanks for joining. Okay. So we have a question from Manav. Manav, you're welcome to ask that question live, or I can read it.
Yep, can you hear me?
Yes.
So can we use this for civil roadworks cut and fill quantities from the drawings? Or is just applied for buildings and architectural takeoffs?
The primary focus is on architectural finishes. What you can do for civil drawings is the symbol detection. So we have, really best in market symbol detection that you can use for anything on any symbol within the drawings. You just define, much like we did with the wall labels, you define one symbol of any type. You just draw a box around any symbol, and then it will return, much like this does and these are the results from the one that we just ran. But much like this does with the wall labels or door labels, it'll return all similar symbols for whatever you defined. And then if you have any additional symbols that you want to add, you can just click, and you can end up adding these. Imagine these are symbols. You just add to OS8A or whatever symbol that you want to add to. So again, it's kind of a co-pilot workflow around the symbols. You can't detect cut and fill quantities directly. It's something we're working on. Prior to that, for site work, we'll have road and asphalt and site concrete prior to the cut and fill quantities. So there's some other good softwares on the market that include the cut and fill and make that pretty easy.
Thanks, Marty.
Export. Thank you, Manav. Thanks for joining. Appreciate the question, and thanks. Okay. Any other questions from anyone in the group? Again, we really appreciate having everyone today. Hope this was helpful in terms of getting you up to speed in terms of the changes and seeing how you can get all the data that you need end to end. As we went through, you can do these takeoffs for any linear area count measurement that you want to do manually. And we went through that, and you can also export the data for whatever gets AI generated. You can edit, delete, adjust whatever you want, and then you've got your finished data set that you can use for your estimate. So hope everyone has a great holiday season. Happy New Year, and we wish you a great 2024. Hopefully we can work together, and please feel free to reach out to me directly, Marty at workpack.ai, or you can use my old email, Marty at workorder.ai. We'd love to talk with you some more. So thank you again. Hope everyone has a great rest of your week. And again, happy holidays.